Furious Driving, proud to be supported by Diamond Bright, protecting, cleaning and caring for the Furious fleet and for yours, with 10% off using code FD10. Follow the links in the description below. Hello and welcome to Furious Driving, and in this episode we're going to be carrying on with the increasingly short checklist of things we need to do on Sleaze the P6. Yes, the name is Sleaze. Check out the number plate, SLE kind of a Z. It's Sleaze and it's big and scary, so it's Sleaze. We're going to keep ticking things off that ever shortening checklist on this car and hopefully get to the point where we can actually take it for an MOT. Maybe, because I'm filming this before we started filming anything else, maybe get to the point we could even drive it off and try and get an MOT on the thing, which would be awesome. Of course, what's going to happen is it's going to be all finished at the end of the video and they won't have any MOT slots for about a week, and then we'll have to wait for that. I kind of see this kind of thing happening. Anyway, so there's not much to do anymore. We're picking up where we left off last time. I've now got a box of adapter plates for the bleeding kit, so hopefully one of those is going to fit. I haven't actually checked, so fingers crossed. There's a few other odds and sods to sort out, but first of all, before we do anything else, I've got to finish sorting out this bonnet latch, because we still can't get in and out of the engine bay, which is sort of important. So, like in the last video, I'm still only able to get into this engine bay by literally undoing the bonnet catch. There we go, now we're in. Now I think, maybe from what I was doing the other day, because of where the bonnet has now been moved to, I might have run out of adjustment on the top part, so I might need to just slacken off and move the bottom part of this mechanism, because it latches down but it will not release, so no matter how far I move it over to one side, it's not moving far enough, or not pulling far enough I should say. That is interesting. I thought this would slide a little bit and have some adjustment in it. The top part clearly has. I think it's more left to right than front to back that I'm worried about here. Oh, it is moving. The whole lot does move. Okay, it's just really stiff. So move the mechanism forward, the lock plate, top plate back, try and get things to line up a wee bit more. Previously, looking straight down it, this top latch was very far forward of the lock underneath it, which I mean, that was how it was before, and I assume it was working. I think it was working. It's a long time ago. After the previous video, when I've been trying to tape a bit of paper across here, someone suggested using masking tape. Much more sensible idea. Same idea, just a lot less faffing around, because then you can see exactly where it's striking down. Okay, so that is missing it completely now. Okay, let's see how close that looks like it lands. Right, so that is going straight through there. Pulling that. That looks like it should be working. Let's give that a try, which I really hope it does. No, hang on. Yes. Nope, it's a no. Amusingly, and I use the word advisedly, I had to actually unbolt the catch from the bonnet in order to get it out of here. And I do wonder if this plate is sort of deformed slightly and catching, so it's releasing but not letting it to undo because of this bit here. I'll try and... Right, having spent about an hour or so on that catch to no avail, I've wandered over here to lock up where the 2000 is. This is my 1972 P6 2000, which is the car I had before the V8. Love this old car. And I want to have a look at this bonnet catch, because this one actually works. See if I can see any differences. And the big one is this area here, this striker plate, is flat. And the one I've been battling is all risen up in the middle. I assumed it was meant to have a rise up in the middle, but it looks like it's not. So let's go back and look at that. Thank you, 2000. Car with no name. Well, that catch is remaining stubbornly defiant and clearly does not want to work, so I'm going to ignore it for the time being and try and do everything else and come back to that later on. Maybe if I can get the car running and just lock it shut and drive it up to Hawk and they can sort it out for me. I don't know. Meanwhile, I have once again incurred the threat of the Volvo mug, because the Volvo wouldn't be this badly behaved, to try and sort out the other electrical gremlins that I've got, which are the washers, the horn and the headlights, which none of them are working properly. So we've got the test meter against the window, switch down here. Oh, we are getting 12 volts there. I don't know if you can see that on the Well, that means that as far as the washers are concerned at least, that's a problem with the pump, not a problem with the wiring in the car, which is a bit of a relief. Well, interestingly, connecting it directly to the battery, it actually works. So I'm glad I didn't go and buy a new one immediately. So I'm going to try putting new connections on here in case it's just a bad contact. Because I suspect there's a fair bit of that going on in this car. Now the thing I noticed, hooking up to the battery direct, it'll only run in one direction. Hook it in the wrong direction and it will just go blip. So I need to make sure I am actually putting this the right way around. Unfortunately, there's no markings on this, so I don't know which way plus and minus should go onto it. New connections on it. Let's see if this now works. Yes! And finally, do we actually get water on the screen? Maybe? Maybe not. It doesn't sound good, does it? Okay, so it works that far. But, yeah, that's not clogged. Hooray, that's working there then. I think it must have been a blockage in the little nubbin down there. Let's try this one more time. Yay! We've got washers! Hooray! It's a little win, but it's a win. Lurking down here is one of the horns. It's a twin horn setup on this car, one either side. It would have been easier to put the, well, if I could take the valance off, it'd be easier to get to. Again, we've hooked up the power leads to the test meter. We'll see what we get. Right, so we've got voltage going to what the horn should be doing. So what I've got is a couple of spare old, I think they're BMW horns actually. So I'm going to trim away the BMW plugs so we can get access to the connectors in here. See if we can actually hook up these. There we go. So that is now temporarily hooked up. Let's give this a quick twerk, see if it works. Wow, that's decent. We'll rig that in then. Looking under the valance of the car, under the front bumper, that there is the horn, which I need to take out. I think there's a 1/2 inch bolt on the bottom of that. There we go. This is the old Rover horn taken off. It's a big old chunky thing. Weighs a lot actually. Good for the weigh-in scrap metal pile. So this one, a lot smaller. You can pop it in the same place. Right, so this one, the 1 Series FIAM horn is now bolted into place. The other side, the other horn, which is kind of hard to see because it's underneath the brake servo, that was actually disconnected. But check this out when I blast the horn now. Wow, check that out, two-tone blastiness. The proper high-low pop that a P6 should have. Proper road clearing presence from a P6. Fantastic. Next item on the random electrical faults, headlights. So we don't seem to have all the headlights working. So we've got both side lights, which is brilliant. Got one dip beam headlight, but no second dip beam headlight. Well, it would appear I've found my first elements of rodent damage. Remember we found all the squirrel nuttage in the boot. I couldn't see any signs of damage when that happened. However, this would be why I've no longer got headlights down here on this side, because look at this. These two have been gnawed on, and this one's been completely gnawed through. Need to do a bit of wire making here to try and save this situation. Well, these connectors, once you finally get them apart, are always on the shonky side, so any opportunity to give them a bit of a clean up is never a bad thing, because they tend to just oxidise like crazy. Now, can I rescue this one and reuse that? Get yourself a bit of sandpaper, wind it into a little sausage. Hopefully that's good enough to get the thing working. Well, let's see if we've now got a second dipped headlight in there. That'll be a no. I guess these other wires need a bit of attention still. So now I've remade all 3 connections to this light. The earth and also the 2 lives for the dip beam and main beam. Still nothing. I wonder if the bulb's gone. I should check that. So I just popped a known working bulb in there, and guess what? That didn't work either. So I've just quickly put the test meter on there as well, but I'm only getting 0.2 of a volt on one and 0.1 of a volt on the other, which suggests there's not much power coming through. Oh yes, how is that? Would you believe it was the simplest, most stupid thing in the world in the end? On top of the broken wires, which were very obvious, it had blown a fuse. The right-hand dip beam fuse, it was only an 8. God, the heat coming off that is spectacular. That was only an 8 amp fuse in that. I don't know if that's correct, it seems too small, but I've stuck a bigger amperage fuse in there, just one that I had around, and now we are done. How cool is this? We've sorted out non-functioning horn, non-functioning washers, non-functioning lights. It's now just the brake bleeding to be done, although right now it's just getting suddenly incredibly cold, so that may be a job for next time. Although I have just been trial fitting the universal adapter, because I did get this Draper bleed kit adapter kit to go with the tool I showed you last time. So on up there, we do now have the ability to do that. It does mean though, jacking the car up and going underneath it, and when it's cold, that's no fun. Now before I sign off on this video, because I think I'm going to call it a day on this one, because it has been a full day of tinkering with this car, just doing this few small things, I'm going to show you what's in this little box. And I do love a bit of new old stock. Now this car already has a fair bit of new old stock on it. It actually has the last set of new old stock door handles that anyone knew of in the country at the time on it, because the old door handles are really badly pitted. The door handles on this one, absolutely lovely. But this I'll probably go into the 2000, because the light in that one looks a bit shabby, but this is a new old stock interior lamp for that. But more exciting than that, for this car, and saving these for absolutely years, these are Lucas genuine spares. And I alluded to this in the MX-5 LED light video, that I had something special for it. I was talking about putting the orange LED turn signal bulbs into this car, and the reason for that is these. Now according to the seller, these I believe are German clear indicator lenses for the front of the car, which is a very, very rare thing for a P6 indeed. Obviously I do have 2 of them, and they would require an orange bulb in there, and so to make the car nice and visible, a nice orange LED bulb. Those Auxito ones I stuck in the MX-5 were fantastic. I thought I had a spare pair, because during the video I couldn't make the hyperflash slow down, but then after I filmed the video I found a resistor, fitted it, and it worked. So yeah, I've no longer got a spare set. That's why I'm not fitting them today, but that will be a really cool thing. Because this car is all black with just like white and silver highlights, having this little gingicator removed, that is quite an exciting and rare thing. Ooh, I like a bit of rare new old stock. And just to give you an idea of how that will look when it's done, that is quite a unique look for a P6. I love it. Okay, so as the sun is going down, I'm calling this quits on this video. This is the end of today's work effort on getting the P6 back on the road again. Another episode in its continued restoration and return to driving on the road again. Next time I'm doing the brake bleeding and whatever else I can find that needs to be done to this car. I'm sure there'll be more things to do. On the way down to go and buy some new wiper blades for it in a second, because that needs doing. That's not an exciting thing to do on camera. And then of course I need to put the interior back together as well, so plenty more to do. In theory I could drive it as is at this point, but I'm not going to. I want to get it all right, all perfect before we get going. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please as always like and indeed subscribe, and see you again next time. Thanks for watching. Bumsticks.